Hi there everybody, it's UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator Helzie here from slimandstylish.stampinup.net. Thank you for joining me today for a Case the Catalogue challenge. Today I'm going to grab the annual catalogue, open it up to a set that I have and case one of the demonstration cards that's with it. I will caveat that as demonstrators we do get sent a recipe card telling us how to make the cards that are in the catalogue, but I have not looked at them. So this is going to be completely just going from the picture and deciding what they've done and making the card to match. So let's get started. I will also add everything I use in the project today is available from my store www.slimandstylish.stampinup.net. Enjoy the project. So then, for today's Case the Catalogue project, I'm going to be using the Flowering Tulips photopolymer stamp set and the coordinating dies. These are on page 27 of the annual catalogue, just here. Here's the stamp set, and underneath it's got the details of the coordinating dies. They're the coordinating tulip dies that you can find on page 175. They've got a few different projects as usual, and the one I'm going to do today is this one up here because I really like the cool window effect, but also it has a mixture of stamping and die cutting, and it also shows you how great the double stamping is on this set. So what I mean by the double stamping is that you can actually stamp the outline of these flowers and then use the imprint to give you a slightly different tone and texture, and you'll see that on this card. So as always, I'm going to pop a little picture on the corner of the screen of the card so you can see where we're going as we go along. And also, I haven't read the recipe card, I am just guessing as we're going through. So I've got a piece of mint macaron cardstock. This is half a sheet of A4 cut in half, so that's cut at 14.8 centimetres and it's scored at 10.5, so it's created my base. It wasn't sure in the catalogue whether it was a base that opens sort of upward like this or whether it was a base that opened sideways like that. I've gone for the upward one, but you could go with whichever one is best for you. And it's got a card panel on the top that's in basic white. Now, because this is 10.5 centimetres, I've worked out that I want 0.5 at the top, 0.5 in the middle and 0.5 at the bottom as my gaps. So I am going to want to take off 1.5 centimetres. So I'm going to cut this at 9 centimetres by 9 centimetres. So I'm just going to cut a piece of basic white for that size. Banged me light on the way out. So it's not going to have that much of a gap on the side, but it is going to then have the gap on the middle when I split it. But I want to do all my stamping on the full sheet at the moment. And I'm just going to bring some scrap grid paper across for the stamping. So the colours I have chosen are Sweet Sorbet for the darker colour and Polished Pink for the infill stamping. And then for the actual stalks and stems, I've picked Mossy Meadow. I think these are the colours they've got on the card, or I'm hoping so that we can create a good effect. Let's get going. The stamps you're going to want to use they've used all three of the tulips. So they've used this one as the actual one that goes on the base, and then one of each of these is actually popped up with a die cut. They've also used the stalk here, and they've used the bigger and the smaller leaf as well. So I've put those on blocks and we're just going to play through. Okay, so what I mean by the double stamping is if I start with this smaller one first, you can see on the picture that it goes about here and then just off the card as well. You want the dark colour, stamp that, and it looks like it's leaning more that way. And then it goes off on the side. Then you want the infill stamp and you want to pick the lighter colour for this. Okay, so I'm going with the Polished Pink. And you just want to layer that over the top and stamp it down so it creates this really cool sort of double effect colour. Okay. Just going to move those off to the side while I do the stems. So for the stem, I'm going to ink that up with the Mossy Meadow. Okay, and then I'm going to use the, oh no, they've got 2 more and they haven't popped those out, so let me ink those at the same time now. So you've got one that looks like it's going about there, and then you've got another one that's going to go a bit higher, about there. Then you've got your leaf, so it looks like it's the fatter and smaller leaf that is going from this stem here, like that. And like that. And then you've got this one here that looks like it's going to go underneath the flower, like that. Okay, that's that for the time being on the panel. So I'm just going to put that at the top to dry. But then what you want is you're going to want some scrap basic white, because you're going to want to do your die cuts. So now they're using the bigger leaf and they've done 2 of those. So I'm just going to ink up 2 of these. Okay, they've then done, put the lid onto that now, move that one out of the way, bring in my dark and my light, so that's Sweet Sorbet and Polished Pink, and they've then got the flowers, so those 2 go together and those 2 go together. So I'm just going to grab some more blocks to pop these on. So I'll do this one first while I've got it. So I'm going to use the bigger one on Sweet Sorbet, and then the lighter one onto Polished Pink, put that in there and stamp it out. And then I've got another piece of scrap here for the next piece. So I'm using up all my scraps, and I'm going to use, there's the outline piece. There is the infill piece. Okay, and finally in the stamp set is this sort of little piece here that's just going to go in the middle of the flower. And they've put it in the middle of the flower with what looks like a darker colour. So I'm going to do that as well. Okay, lids on all my inks before I go and get myself into a right royal mess, which, trust me, happens more than you would think it would happen. And now I'm going to bring in my Stampin' cut. Oh, grab my plates and make my sandwich. And I'm going to die cut out these 4 items. So that's that one. I've got about 2 of that leaf and I've got 1 of that flower. Okay, let's do this one first. Through and through. There's, oh, tulip one. help if I put that the right way. And through we go again. I'm just trying to work out by looking what colour they've used as the sentiment strip. I think they've used crushed curry, I'm going to go with. Looks like a crushed curry, doesn't it? So there's the next piece and that piece, and then finally one more leaf. It actually looks like they have a strip of colour underneath the crushed curry. Now I'm not sure if that is a ribbon or if that is a piece of cardstock. It looks to me like it's a piece of cardstock, a scrap that they've put underneath. So we can do that too. Right, so I'm going to bring in my trimmer first of all, and I'm going to cut this down 4.5 centimetres and 4.5 centimetres so that we actually get 4 squares. I have a little jigsaw puzzle to put them all back together again. So card base and some glue. Right, so I'm going to start over this side so I know how much of a gap that I actually want. I don't want much of a gap, probably about that much on each side. And then if I do the bottom square, you can see I'm pushing for the same gap again. That's left a big gap in the middle. They didn't have a big gap in the middle, but I'm going for one because that's how I've cut my card. You could go for a smaller gap if you wanted to match the catalogue, but I'm going for a slightly bigger one. I don't think it makes massive amounts of difference, really. We'll soon find out when it's finished. So there's that. Grab some dimensionals for your additional pieces. So first of all, it's this smaller one, and that goes over on that side there. The bigger one, which goes up there like that, and then you've got both your leaves. So this one here appears to go like sort of that, and then this one goes off and over that one. Okay, the sentiment is love you so much, so let me just get that one out my set. Love you so much, like that one. And I said I was going to use crushed curry for this one, which I am, because I'm pretty sure that is the colour that's on there. So crushed curry, I'll just do with a little scrap. There we go. Let's put that on there. Now I think they've used the Mossy Meadow again for it. So Mossy Meadow ink. It doesn't look like they've used a dark. It looks like they've used the green. Just put my finger in it. Messy, messy. Messy, messy. Love you so much. I'll get my snips and tidy that cardstock up. And then what they've done by the look of it is put just a strip of either looks like a pink or a coral. I'm going to go with Calypso Coral. And it looks like it's just a really thin strip that they have put behind it. And they've kind of slanted it off. So, scissors. How have they done? They've done it sort of like that. On both sides. Then put the sentiment on top of it. Like that. And then pop that on the card. Sort of like that. And that is the case, the card, finished. I quite like it. What do you think? Hopefully you did. Everything I've used today is available from my store, slimandstylish.stampinup.net. Thank you ever so much for joining me, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye. I hope you've enjoyed today's project. All items that I have used on this video are available to purchase from my store, www.slimandstylish.stampinup.net. Alternatively, if you would like a copy of our catalogues, please send me an email to slimandstylish@live.co.uk or leave me a comment below and I'll get in touch with you. I upload regular content to this channel, so if you do enjoy watching my tutorials, please make sure that you have subscribed and rang the bell to get notifications when new videos go live. Thank you for joining me and have a lovely day.